Istidama, and then I will introduce my co-speaker for today, Ms. Salwa Al-Kuwari. And we did have a lot of feedback from the previous two workshops that we need to start from basics. So this workshop is entirely going to be from basics. So we are going to be introducing plastic, what is the different categories of plastic, what is the different types of plastic, about single-use plastics, why people say why we should not be using single-use plastics, what are the harmful effects of plastics, and plastic waste as a global concern. And then Salwa will be taking over about reduce, reuse, recycling of plastic. And then we will also discuss about some of the best practices that is followed in the world about plastic waste. Then we will also have an overview about seashore recycling and their services, and we will have a Q&A session, and we will close the workshop. So about Istidama, we are waste management and environmental integrated solutions company. We provide consultancy. For the non-Arabic speaking people, the word Istidama means sustainability in Arabic. So our company mainly serves three main entities: environment, society, and economy. So our expertise and competencies serve both local and international companies. We provide environmental and waste management solutions, also provide smart waste management systems, and we also have strategies for environmental and waste recycling and minimization solutions. We are really confident that if you have anything related to waste and environment, we will be able to provide consultancy services. So this is some of the services, like put in brief. We provide environmental and waste consultancy services for government and corporates, smart waste management system, independent waste audit, extended producer responsibility, training, awareness and certification, and environmental PR and marketing. So our vision is to provide the best integrated solutions for environmental and waste and resource recovery. Our mission is to become a leading partner in waste management and environmental integrated solutions. Our core values is definitely driven by His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, Emir of Qatar, and the Qatar National Vision that aims to create a balance between development needs and protecting the environment. So I'm very proud to introduce you all to Ms. Salwa Al-Kuwari. She is a current senior in high school, very passionate, outspoken about girls' education. She's really interested in debating, public speaking, and problem solving. She's very young and resilient. I got a chance to meet Ms. Salwa, and she has worked on several projects on food security, plastic straws, biofuels, and piezoelectricity. It's very inspiring to see a high school student work in so many different projects at such an early age. Congratulations to her for that. So let's get to business and talk about plastics. So basically, plastics are polymers, large molecules that are made up of repeating units of small molecules called monomers that are chemically bound together. A polymer is a chain in which each link is a monomer. So the most common type of plastic that we know is polyethylene, and the monomer is ethylene over here, and after the polymerization process, we get polyethylene. So what are some of the properties of plastic that makes it inevitable for us to not stop using them? They are very light in weight, they have good resistance and electrical strength. They can be molded into any desired shape, size, color that we want. They are cheap compared to metals. So these are some of the main properties of plastics that makes us always stick with it. And above all, they're very easy to use. So what are the different categories of plastics? So there are two broad categories of plastics. One is thermoplastics and the other one is thermosetting plastics. So thermoplastics soften upon heating and return to their original form. They are less rigid and can be easily molded and extruded into films, fibers, and packaging. Some of the examples of thermoplastics are PVC, polyethylene, acrylic, polypropylene, polystyrene. Thermosetting plastics, once they are cooled and hardened, these plastics retain their shapes and cannot be returned to their original form. They are very hard and durable. This makes them to be used in most of the auto parts and aircraft parts. And some of the examples are melamine, bakelite, and polyester. So, what are the different types of plastic? So, whenever plastic is being used in a product, these numbers are typically mentioned in that particular product. I'm not sure how many of you guys have noticed it. So, there are 7 different types of plastic. First is PET, which is very commonly known, and these are used in plastic water bottles, soft drink bottles, sports drink bottles, etc. Then we have the high density polyethylene, which is commonly used in the baladna milk bottles that we get, and then the detergent bottles, shampoo bottles, grocery bags, cereal box liners, etc. Then we have polyvinyl chloride, PVC. They are very flexible and it's typically used in plumbing pipes, some clear food packaging, the cling wraps, and then most of the toys that kids use, it's all made out of PVC. Then we have the low density polyethylene, which is typically the cleaning bags, the bread bags, newspaper bags, and also the garbage bags and the Clorox bottles and the milk cartons, etc. Then we have polypropylene. Polypropylene is used to make like yogurt containers, food containers, the insulation for winter wear, etc. Then we have polystyrene, which is like the most common that we use, which is typically used in food packaging. So it's also called as styrofoam. Basically, the cups, plates, takeout containers, supermarket meat trays, packaging items, etc. So anything that not falls in the first 6 typically falls in the 7, which is bisphenol A and others. So anything we are not able to categorize in the first 6 will be falling in that category. So single-use plastics. Single-use plastics are those plastics which we cannot use after like we use it once, and it has to be either thrown away or recycled. The most common types of single-use plastics are food packaging items like plastic forks, knives, coffee cup lids, plastic water bottles, and styrofoam. These single-use plastics are a threat because of their throwaway culture. So typically when we tend to use these single-use plastics in parks, beaches, and what we do is that we throw it off, like not sometimes we don't throw it off at the bins. So that's not supposed to be happening. So handling of single-use plastic waste can be really challenging for recycling centers as it requires a lot of attention because of its small size, and it has to be decontaminated because most of the single-use plastics are food packaging items and they have to be decontaminated before they are recycled. So what is the solution for single-use plastic? Basically, stop using single-use plastics is the only solution, but I wouldn't say like it's not possible for us to entirely stop using, but at least reduce wherever we can. So we have a Q&A session for the audience to understand about like plastic and pollution. So yeah, we'll give you like 5 minutes of time. So this Q&A is sponsored by Drinkies, and yeah. We're just waiting for more people to just answer. So the winners for this will be announced in our social media, and they have exciting goodies from Drinkies. So we'll be announcing that by next week. So I think, yeah, we can close the Q&A session. So yeah, so the answers for the Q&A. So more than 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean each year, which is equal to dumping a garbage truck of plastic every minute. Plastic waste kills up to 1 million seabirds, 100,000 sea mammals, marine turtles, and countless fish each year. Plastic remains in our ecosystem for years, harming thousands of sea creatures every day. So the life cycle of a plastic bottle is about 450 years for them to completely degrade. The amount of plastic that is produced in the world every year has increased explosively in a human lifetime, from 2 million tons of production in 1950 to 368 million tons in 2019. I think because of COVID in 2020, it was 367 million tons. Worldwide, Coca-Cola produces about 167,000 plastic bottles every minute. If you would put them in a line, they would go back to the moon and come back 31 times. So this is like very alarming, and I think it is possible only if we are aware and we act responsibly. So what are some of the harmful effects of plastic? Plastic's properties of being durable and resistant is one of its greatest liabilities when it comes to disposal. So when a very small amount of plastic is effectively recycled or recovered from the remaining, a very small amount of the plastic waste that we produce is actually recovered and recycled, and the remaining actually goes to the landfill, which is not okay. So since these plastics are very durable and resistant, it takes a lot of effort for the natural organisms to find it, to break it down and make it, because of its strong chemical bond in the plastic, making it very difficult for the persistence of the material. Plastics can cause underground water pollution, soil pollution, ocean pollution, because it breaks down to smaller and smaller pieces and never degrades fully. So, yeah. So plastic waste is actually a global concern right now. So plastic products have become an integral part of our lives, as a result of which the polymer is produced in massive scale, with a production of 367 million metric tons in 2020. So we are very attached to it, and especially during COVID, the use of single plastics have been like very high because of the sanitary requirements of the pandemic. So We as Istidama, we did a very brief study on plastic recycling. So from that, we have like few outcomes or like a few results from the study, which I would like to share. So Qatar's population is consuming about like 300,000 tons of plastic just in 2019. So, as I said, this number is expected to increase even more in COVID-19 because of COVID-19, with 62% of plastic being disposed in the so we have like these plastic waste, and out of that, because we do not segregate the plastic separately, 62% of it directly goes to the municipal solid waste into the landfill as municipal solid waste into the landfill. The current Qatari diversion rate is about 17.7% for plastic waste, which means that 82.3% is directly going to the landfill. This is calculated based on the study that we did. This is what we are estimating. So this 82.3% is not a very good number or a very a number that we can share. So therefore, I think we have to act responsibly and stop plastic pollution. So I have a short video. Sorry, I have a short video to be played about how it feels like for marine animals to have plastics around them. So I hope this. I'm so sorry that we could not hear the audio. Just a minute. So yeah. So Miss Salwa will be talking about the handling of plastic waste, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Over to you, Miss Salwa. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
1 second, I'll share my screen. Sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and good morning. I'm Salwa Khalifa Al-Kuwari, a current senior at Qatar Academy for Science Technology. I'm very pleased to have you all today and happy that you all came here hoping to learn more about the impacts of plastic waste and hoping to make a difference in your communities. Plastic waste management is a vital challenge facing Qatar currently. Qatar is a small country with a high rate of population growth, and as the population is growing, solid waste is increasing as well. Qatar produces 1.8 kilograms of waste per capita, 14% of which is plastic, making it one of the highest worldwide and the highest in Gulf states, which is why Qatar's government and other non-governmental organizations are putting so much effort to reduce the waste and to recycle. You all most likely know the basic steps for plastic management, which are the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. The most important and underrated one is reducing, where you lower your overall consumption of plastic. Reducing your consumption of plastic will help prevent pollution in the coming years, and in addition to reducing greenhouse gases. We as human consumers are very reliant on plastic for everyday uses because of its efficiency and longevity. However, we did not think of the consequences. Because of this, numerous individuals find it hard to stop using plastic. But it might be hard to adapt at first. With time, it will become a habit and you will reduce your consumption of plastic without even thinking about it. Here are some ways you could reduce plastic. So we use 5 trillion plastic bags per year, and less than 1% are recycled. So we could use tote bags or reusable bags while grocery shopping. You could also use your own produce bags. While grocery shopping, try to buy less packaged food, which will simultaneously encourage you to eat less processed foods. And instead of using plastic water bottles, which also save you money in the long run, try to use reusable ones. And while ordering from websites such as Talabat or Carriage, choose not to get plastic cutlery and instead use your own. You will often find that option while you're checking out. And if you love drinking your tea and coffee, bring your own cups to coffee shops. And some coffee shops, like Coffee Bean, may even give you a discount if you bring your own cup. You could also use metal lunch boxes instead of plastic ones. Always choose to reduce before recycling. That is very important. That way you are saving energy. Recycling takes up a lot of money and requires energy. By reducing first, we lower the amount of energy consumed while recycling. Finding these products is not hard at all, as they are widely available. For example, drinkies. You can use reusable water bottles, coffee cups, and also lunch containers here in Qatar. They're available in a variety of colors, and you can customize them however you want as well. Your second option after reducing is reusing. Since not all plastics can be recycled, and rather than throwing them away, you could reuse it or repurpose it in your own creative ways. Here are some examples. If you have a talent for weaving or crocheting, you could reuse plastic instead of regular yarn. This could also lead you to save some money on buying new materials. You could make storage baskets, tote bags, and countless other more possibilities. Another example is upcycling empty pill bottles to store your different herbs and seasonings. You could also use them to store things that you would like to give away from children, like batteries, since these bottles cannot be opened by children. You should start planting your own garden by using empty bottles, as they make the perfect pots for herbs and other plants. One of my favorites is using plastic bottles filled with other scraps of plastic to make bricks that are used for real buildings and have been used before to build houses in third world countries and underdeveloped countries, since these bricks cost from little to nothing. Lastly, if you're feeling creative, make some art. Making art be a great option. As we can see here, this is some art made by the artist Swapna by repurposed materials here in Qatar. All of you are individuals and capable of change. You may think that your effect on the planet is insignificant. However, collaboratively, we are very capable of reducing the consumption of plastic. After reducing and reusing, you should recycle. Recycling is simply a process in which you turn old materials that have no use anymore to usable products. It is done mainly in 4 steps, which are: first, collection, where the recyclable materials are collected to be taken to the recycling facilities. Second is processing, where the plastics are sorted into different categories based on their size, type, and color. They are then washed to remove dirt and other impurities. The plastics are then resized and formed into pellets during the extrusion process. Third step is manufacturing, where recycled materials are turned into products that can be bought. Lastly, purchasing the recycled products. 2 of these steps, us as consumers have complete control over, which are the collection and the purchasing. Recycling takes 80% less energy than producing the original product. And it also uses less water, which is better considering Qatar's climate, since Qatar is has a desert climate. For materials that can't be recycled mechanically, they are recycled chemically. Chemical recycling has 3 main types: the dissolution, which is waste plastic to polymer; depolymerization, waste plastic to monomers; and conversion, waste plastic to feedstock. In the dissolution process, the plastics are first prepared for processing, and they are sorted and cleaned for impurities using solvent and heat. The sorted plastics is dissolved to extract polymers and is separated from the additives. But if we're making new plastics, they're further processed and new additives are added. Here's a diagram to show the process. The blue lines are polymer chains and the yellow dots are solvent molecules. Then we have depolymerization. In this process of converting a polymer into a monomer. It is also known as chemolysis or pyrolysis. It is a process where plastics are sorted and broken down into monomers using solvent and heat. Then potential contaminants are separated from the monomers. Then the processed monomers can be turned into polymers. Examples that are suited for depolymerizations are PET, polystyrene, and PMMA. Finally, the conversion methods, where plastic waste is turned into feedstock or raw materials. The plastic is separated and turned into hydrocarbon mixtures. The plastics are broken down to create liquid or oil feedstock using pyrolysis, or they're broken down to create presence of oxygen using gasification. Later, the contaminants are removed. Seashore Recycling is a nonprofit company looking out for Qatar's environments, health, and well-being. Seashore Recycling collects waste such as plastic, oil, metal, and paper. They provide a variety of recycling services such as plastic recycle processing, metal scrap processing, oil recycling, and copper recycling services, aluminum recycling, and can recycling services. Seashore is currently working on a project to recycle batteries that is going to be out in the third quarter of 2022, aiming to reduce batteries disposed in solid waste that are harming the environment because of the high level of the high level of toxins that batteries contain. Seashore Recycling also does beach cleanups that anybody of the community could be a part of. They provide the facilities needed for the volunteers to clean up and ensure they're having a positive experience while helping the environment. Seashore has clients all the way from Emira to British Council. They also provide services for households. Here's a quick video to give you an idea of Seashore's work to the community.
I think you have to switch on the volume, Salwa.
Here, I'll do that just a second.
I think it's fine. You can just play it.
Hi, my name is Rawal. I'm a CNAQ student. I study environmental health and safety. Our first beach cleanup was in Al Today we are in Zubara. Our main goal is to raise awareness, educate people about recycling, and to be a good influencer for the next generation. Also, we're collaborating with Seashore. They're providing us reusable gloves, stickers, and plastic bags. And yeah, you're more than welcome to join next time. Thank you.
Seashore Recycling is offering an excellent customer service. They bring you the bin, they empty it on a regular basis, and their staff is extremely friendly and dedicated. And communication with them is very straightforward and very quick. So we are extremely happy customers.
So Savvy, why do you recycle in Doha? Why is recycling important? It saves the earth. And we use Seashore Recycling to recycle. There's our recycle bin over there. And what materials do we recycle, Savvy?
Plastic, metal.
And what do we do with cardboard? Cardboard. We use it for assignments, right? Okay. Our experience with Seashore has been good, and they're very professional. And what can we share with the community for the importance? I would say the importance of recycling in this country is there's not many natural resources. So maybe recycling helps us have more resources to use for plastics and for recycled cardboard and paper products here in this country. All right. Say bye, Savvy.
Thank you so much, Salwa. If you guys have any questions or queries for Seashore Recycling, you can reach out to them at info@seashorerecycling.com. I also have like a few things to cover about like some of the best practices that have been followed in the world, leading as true examples. So yeah, if Salwa, if you could stop sharing your screen, I will share. Thank you so much. So yeah, in Netherlands, they have a plastic bike path. So always Netherlands has been a very great example. They have been really towards sustainability, and this is the first time the country had built a bike path entirely out of recycled plastics in the city of Zwolle and Girton. The use of plastics to build road has been done in other places, but this is the first time it was completely out of plastics. In addition to the clear commitment, they have also been like very towards like renewable energy, and they have also invested in developing initiatives towards sustainable and circular economy. So most of us has seen this machine in Almira. So in 2019, Almira Consumer Goods Company launched a nationwide recycling initiatives in Doha. Across 8 of Almira's branches in Doha, branded recycling machines for plastic and can products are distributed as initial trial and availed for customers. So you can basically put in your cans and plastic bottles and you get rewards out of it. This is one of the greatest initiatives that is done by Almira over here. So this was shared by my colleague, Ms. Sara. In her university, they banned plastic bottles entirely. So instead, she studied in York University, Canada, and instead of plastic bottles, they started selling steel bottles and reusable water bottles. And the campus also installed about like 70 refill stations across Kiel and Glendon campuses. And about like 200 existing public water fountains were used to fill like reusable water bottles. So yes, I did like see few questions in the chat box, and main question was Mr. Michael had addressed about why we should not be using single-use plastic water bottles. I think it's mainly because like we have a tendency to use these single-use plastics and throw it away. And firstly, as I already mentioned in my presentation, it is really difficult for us to recycle single-use plastics because they are typically very small in size, and they have to be like, I wouldn't say that it's not possible to recycle single-use plastics, but it's definitely difficult for us to use. But when we have like alternatives to use, like steel forks, spoons, normal reusable straws, why not go ahead with something sustainable than having something that would will cost us the environment. So that is the main reason why I had mentioned that we should avoid using single-use plastics. So the $1 million question, like, can we recycle all types of plastics? So yes, with the science progressing very well and the technology progressing very well, it is possible to recycle all sorts of plastics. But the issue is how difficult it is and how economically viable it is. So with respect to that, the most easiest type of plastics to be recycled is the PET and the HDPE. So these plastics are typically the ones which are very easy to recycle. The relatively easier ones are also the PVC. The difficult ones are the low density polyethylene, and the very, very difficult ones are the polystyrene, which is like basically the food packaging items like fork, spoons, and the styrofoam, because of its very lightweight and small in nature, and it also has to be decontaminated before it's like recycled. So this is the most I think this is what everyone wanted to know. Also, I am very glad that most of you had put in the chat box that it's the people's mindset. Definitely yes, and that's why we have awareness sessions like this to educate people and to let them know what they are doing. So sometimes all these things that me and Salwa had shared today are things that all of us know, but we had to remind it to all of you to just be aware, more aware, and protect the environment. Also, it can start from our houses. We can segregate our waste. We can segregate our waste. We had a session yesterday by my colleague and Mr. Abu Bakr Al-Hadrami talking about segregation of waste. And it's really important for us to start it from our homes. And so I think Ms. Salwa had forgotten about one of the most greatest initiatives done by Seashore Recycling, is that they have recyclable bins and segregation bins, which can be, and they offer like residents home services. So if you are interested in recycling your waste and you want to segregate your waste, please do reach out to them. They have like different sizes of bins, and you can segregate your waste and they will be ready to pick your waste from your houses. So with that note, any more questions, you all can reach out to us and at info@istidama.qa and info@seashorerecycling.com. And I would like to thank our partners, our strategic partner, Doha Expo 2023, our sustainability partner, Elite Paper Recycling and Elite Waste Management Recycling. And I would also like to thank our recycling partners, Seashore Recycling, and I would like to thank our sorry for the disturbance. I would also like to thank our giveaway partner, Drinkies, and our waste management partner, Marafak Qatar and Wahab, and our international partner, International Solid Waste Association. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our CEO, Ms. Almaha Al-Majid, for giving myself and my colleagues the opportunity to talk in front of such a big crowd and about raising awareness about recycling and waste. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you all in another awareness session. Take care. Thank you.